Pahlavi text translated by E.W. West. Part 4. Contents of the Nasks. Clarendon, Oxford University Press, 1892. Dinkard, Book 9. Endnotes of Chapter 54. 1. The 8th Bargard, Hava e Tumaete. See Chapter 9, verse 1. It is here written, Kavama Ito Pahlavi. Confusing a righteous one. Aharubo Barisi is also taught. See Pahlavi Yasna 32, 1-4. 2. Spenders. See Pahlavi Yasna 32, verse 2c, and book 8, chapter 9, verse 3. 3. That he who is loving the Human is taught by his wisdom not to destroy. Nasanini Dano, religion of Ukarmaz, Pahlavi Yasna 32, 4c. And verse 6, that through the discrimination of him who loves Pokemon, Pahlavi Yasna 32, 8c, it is possible to read the plural stem dosh here instead of dosh, the Augustin zoosh, but this is hardly possible in verse 2, and Doshigano is not the usual Pahlavi for to hear. Verse 8, that whoever has kept wealth in the control of Zarathustra becomes taught. Pahlavi Yasna 32, verse 9b, and chapter 55, 1. The 9th Bargard is Yatha'is. See chapter 10, verse 1. It is here written Yata'yis and Pahlavi. In the Gathic lore, Pahlavi Yasna 33, 1a. 2. Priestly controlled action, Radik, Knisni. Pahlavi Yasna 32, 1b. And remember that part of what's meant by that is that it's according to the prescribed forms and orders for society. Verse 6, that whatever is personally progressive for him and is his own. Pahlavi Yasna 33, verse 3a. Verse 7, who is a cultivator of cattle. Pahlavi Yasna 33, 3b and c. 8, that religion which is the way of righteousness is made his own. Pahlavi Yasna 33, 5c. Verse 10, excessiveness of the pleasure. See Pahlavi Yasna 33, verse 13. For the upper classes, Avarigano, Avaron. And for the energy, Patuki, of the diligent. Pahlavi Yasna 33, verse 13a. Chapter 56. 1. The 10th Bargard, Ya Sha Othana. See chapter 11, 1. It is here written Ya Sha Otno. Pahlavi, who is practicing good works. See Pahlavi Yasna 34, 1a. 2. That the apostate, Pahlavi Yasna 34, 8a. 3. That by him who is eager, Pahlavi Yasna 34, 9a. 34. This too, that display. Pahlavi Yasna 34, 10C. Development through the harmonic rule. Pahlavi Yasna 34, 11B. 6. That in great ornaments. Pahlavi Yasna 34, 12A and B. Is taught by him whose ceremonial is for Uharmaz. Pahlavi Yasna 34, 12A. 7. That the performance of Saktari, of the ceremonial. Pahlavi Yasna 34, 12A. That the way of righteousness. Pahlavi Yasna 34, 12C. 57. 1. The 11th Dinkard, the Yasna. See chapter 12, 1. It is here written Yasto in the Pahlavi, which are accomplished. See Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 5. Who teaches virtue. See Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 4. Verse 2. That it is because he would do the best for his own. See Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 6. 3. Unafflictedly. Pahlavi Abashiha, but it should perhaps be Avasiha. Unabundantly. Because before that and after are negative words, right? Words related to lack. Verse 5. In both existences. See Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 9. 6. Is the ceremonial and obeisance of Uharmaz. Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 19. 7. That he is in the leadership of religion. Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 22. And 22 also, he is in the service of religion. And verse 10, and words are given. See Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 25. 11, that the words of Uharmaz. See Pahlavi Yasna 35, verse 27. This too, that the care, starting verse 12. See Pahlavi Yasna 36, verse 1. This section implies that the attendant who feeds a fire with fuel supplied by others obtains an equal share of the merit with them. Because you are responsible for the deeds that you encourage, right? Sure, okay, we're looking. 13. Who teaches the religion of Uharmaz with joyfulness. Pahlavi Yasna 36, 4 and 5. 14, that the obeisance. See Pahlavi Yasna 36, verse 5, which is the greatest, mentioned in verse 15. See Pahlavi Yasna 36, verse 6. 16, that he becomes informed as to the religion of Uharmaz. Pahlavi Yasna 36, verse 7. Verse 17, who teaches the virtuous words and actions. Pahlavi Yasna 36, verse 11. 18 is that the bodily form, Karpo of Uharmaz, is praised as perfection. Nevako to me, well, a body that is totally surrendered, right? Pahlavi Yasna 36, verse 14. by him who elevates Balestinado, his own soul, Pahlavi 36, verse 15, to the station of the sun, Pahlavi 36, verse 16, the highest grade of heaven, below the supreme heaven, which is latter called Grodman. 19, excellence is both root and fruit, Pahlavi 37, or 5, verse 2. 20, Harmaz is invoked with the title Lord, Pahlavi 37, verse 6. 21, the names of the sacred beings which are invoked, Pahlavi 38, verse 10 to 12. 22, shall do it for one race, Pahlavi 38, 13 to 15. 23, his personality, Kudi, is the sacred being's own, Pahlavi 39, verse 13, who maintains the rights, assuming that Atan stands for Ayinan, as Moon Atan is ungrammatical. 24, that his own is the guardianship. See Pahlavi 39, verse 15. 27, that he causes righteousness. Pahlavi 40, verse 7. Let us always remember that we are responsible for what we're provoking. So, you know, these depopulation and war agendas and other things that go with government and all that stuff, you know, you're responsible for what you encourage. Sure, vote for one person, but don't justify everything they decide to do in office. 28, has caused the good commands and perpetuousness of Harmaz, Pahlavi 41, verse 6, who gives his body and life, Pahlavi 41, verse 7. 29, and that guardianship is perpetually, Pahlavi 41, verse 17, chapter 58, 1, the 12th Vargard, Usta Ba'eter, see chapter 13, verse 1, it is here written, Usta Ito in Pahlavi, is the benefit of anyone whatever. See Pahlavi 42, 1a, 3, is best for his own in every mode. See Pahlavi 42, verse 2a, is connected with Harmaz. See Pahlavi 42, 2c, verse 7, that joy of which long duration is produced. Pahlavi 2e, that we have through Vocalmon, verse 6, 2d, 2c. Verse 8, the proper way is taught to mankind. Pahlavi 42, 3b. 9, that heat is given fire. See Pahlavi 42, verse 4d. And let us remember that there is no power that anything has without divine permission, which is sort of not made clear with some of these things, but it's definitely from Zoroastrianism to Islam, it's definitely a belief out there. 10, decrees of this tasp, which, see Book 8, Chapter 11, verse 1, 13, verse 15, are through Bokuman of Soshans. See Pahlavi 42, 4e, in Book 8, Chapter 14, verse 14. renewer, which is their own completion. Oh, no, okay. And Ka-e Kusroi. In the manuscripts, the letters are sro, are omitted from this name, which might therefore be read Kayanog, but Ka-e Kusroi, see chapter 23, is considered as one of the assistants of the renovations. See Hadastani Dinkard 36, verse 3, probably on account of his opposition to idolatry. See Bundahis, chapter 17, verse 7, and the renewer, which is their own completion. Pahlavi Mam Baharano Hashtar Homon E Nafsman Storiki 11. The existences as the progeny of Upamas. See Pahlavi Yasna 42, 5b. 12. And the acceptance of the good. Pahlavi Yasna 42, 5b. 13. That ability for even the transformation of the creatures. Pahlavi Yasna 42, 5e, assuming that Dam Barzisni, accomplishment of the creature, stands for Dam or Disney. Creatures. 15 also teaches it like a priest. Pahlavi Yasna 42, 6b. It is shown that Soshans, Pahlavi Yasna 42, 6d, 16, that the wisdom of Auharmaz is taught, Pahlavi Yasna 42, 6e, so that they are not deceived, Pahlavi Yasna 42, verse 8c. He is conveying him to the rulers for benefit, Pahlavi Yasna 42, 8d. 20. Benefit of sovereignty for that which arises. Evidently, the many-seeded tree of all germs opposed to harm, and called the proper curing, energetic curing, and all curing. It is renowned in Iranbeg and grows in the wide-formed ocean near the Go Careno, or white home plant, which latter one is of the ingredients of the elixir producing immortality in the future existence. See Bundahis chapter 9, verse 5 and 6, 18, verse 9, 27, verse 2, 29, verse 5. You might want to put something alchemical or symbolic on that as far as beliefs and deeds and processes that you have to take a part in to become the fully developed human being that goes straight there, right? The sovereignty that arises we're talking about there. And then we have the tree of germs. See the Pahlavi Yasna, we're verse 20 for both of these. 42, 9b, which is PT4 and MF4 supply as follows. Aeduno avohanai lak atas rado homonam pavan niya yisno. This too, that he becomes liberal to fire. Pahlavi Yasna 42, 9e. 22, that this thinking as to righteousness. Pahlavi Yasna 42, 10c. 23, that the religion is interrogated. Pahlavi Yasna 42, verse 11d. Whatever becomes a progress, verse 24. Pahlavi Yasna 14a. 25, is a friend only by him. Pahlavi Yasna 42, verse 14a, 26, that gratification. Pahlavi Yasna 42:14b. 27, a vigorous-minded, to stow, mean isno, man. By man, we mean any person, right? Pahlavi Yasna 42:15c. It was 42:14b before that. Okay. 28, that the spirit of Uparmas. Pahlavi Yasna 42:16a. Similarly loved Uharmaz, so that some clause appears to be omitted here. Verse 29, taught in the publicity of the sun. Pahlavi Yasna 42:16b, chapter 59:1, the 13th Bargard, Tad Wa Parasa. See chapter 14:1. It is here written Tad Spag Peres in Pahlavi. Is the obeisance. See Pahlavi Yasna 43:1b. Verse 2, one mentions 7 kinds of people. These appear to be the 4 kinds of ordinary men and the 3 kinds of physicians, detailed in the following clauses. That it does not occur that it is well or ill are disposed. Ku and Pazand, Ayov, Dusim, anything whatever that is really life. Apparently, Kayak, badly written in D. 5, of 2 kinds, either good, void of learning, and so on. Pazand, Ku. Okay, good is Ku. Verse 6, which is good, Ku, and learned. Okay, the connected series Ham Had Van Disney. Probably good thoughts, good words, and good deeds are implied here. Verse 7, because the locomonic attainment. So Pahlavi Yasna 43:1e. The first among the existences. Pahlavi Yasna 43:3, verse 10. Development of the world in virtue is taught. Pahlavi Yasna 43:2b. Well, 2b. We had 2. The first of existences. And 6c, words and actions, verse 11. Verse 12, which is the exposition to Uharmaz. Everything worth doing is worth doing for the rest of life. See Pahlavi Yasna 43:8b. 13, decides about duty and opinion. Pahlavi Yasna 43:17e. 14, extends the propagation of the religion. Pahlavi Yasna 43:15d and 17c. 14, that the religion of Ahura is made progressive. Pahlavi Yasna 43, 17e. Well, religion itself is actually always progressive, but some people act like there's some sort of limited development. But you gotta deny that religion is revealed as something speculative, right? Revelation and speculation are two totally different things. Verse 16, protected from the annoying spirit. Pahlavi Yasna 43, verse 11e. And the annoying spirit is disabled. Akarihend, the Zond equivalent of Akarih Homand. Verse 19, a foundation of liberality is thereby prepared for him, implying that he is himself vile, who gives the righteous merely to induce others to give to himself. So I don't mean liberal in the sense of, the really meaningless political title, or the idea of religion that people let go of religious and family values. I mean, that they're free in doing as they should, or in giving and all that. Chapter 60, verse 1. The 14th Fargard, Ad Pravaksha, see chapter 15, 1. It is here written Ad Pravaksha in Pahlavi, is that whatever is instruction is to be listened to. See Pahlavi Yasna 44, 1a. The perfect nature of the performance of the first next of kin marriage is praised. Pahlavi Yasna 44, 4a. I've talked more about that issue with the whole next of kin marriage thing. That list in Surah 4 of the Quran of people you're never allowed to marry. And most countries would even agree with the whole list, if not at least part of it, right? Verse 3, the performance of next of kin marriage. So we had Pahlavi Yasna 44, 1a and 4a, with all that. And that note in particular for C, verses 2 to 5, have already been translated somewhat differently in Sacred Books of the East, volume 18, page 395 and 396. 4, that Spendermod is in daughterhood to Uharmazd. That symbolic thing. Maybe there's something linguistically that we're missing out on here, but Pahlavi Yasna 44, 4d. For Spendermod, see Book 8, Chapter 9, verse 3. But see, that whole thing explains the whole next of kin marriage, as you could call it, because if that's what we're talking about as daughterhood and all that, perhaps actually it's being soulmates in the way that I would recommend that people are soulmates, right? Verse 7, that reverence for Bohuman, Pahlavi Yasna 44, 9e. 8, taught with complete mindfulness, Pahlavi Yasna 44, 10a, and by the soulmates, I mean like you know, you have like a single purpose in life, or you're aiding towards each other's development. It doesn't have to be merged with lovers or any physical relationship or anything like that of any type, not just, you know, the sexual ones. So yeah, there's some areas we can take that aren't quite as, you know, as the people who marry their own parents or siblings or, you know, that sort of stuff. 61, the 15th Vargard, Kamnam Eza. See chapter 16:1. It is here written Kamnam Ezo in Pahlavi. To which lands do I step? See Pahlavi Yasna 45:1a, reading Val, Kadar, Damikan, Vaman is Gamam. See chapter 58, verse 4. That is in a province of even exhausted production. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 4b, 5. That the good production of fire. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 7c. 6. Himself and discipleship. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 9d. 7. That men and women. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 10a. Okay, verse 7, that men and women are taught as being given in discipleship to Zarathustra. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 10b. So A and B there, men and women in discipleship. Verse 9, his Kindgod passage, Kiss Vidarg. It is taught that they shall step forth, throw the mund. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 10e, in book 8, chapter 14, 8. 10, through complete mindfulness. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 12c. That Kurdad and Murdad. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 19:1. 12. That when he who is privileged is Vistasp. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 13e. Is privileged is the righteous Zarathustra. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 14a, which is supplied by PT4, MF4, thus Zarathusto mun lak aharubo dosto. And so he who is the wicked or gosp. See book 8, chapter 11, verse 4. 13, whose contentment. See Pahlavi Yasna 45, 19e. 14, by him whose thoughts are for Zarathustra. Pahlavi Yasna 45, 19b. And let us remember, it's not that, oh, we're thinking of the prophet or anything. It's that they're beneficial, like the prayers belonging to God going to the prophet of the age, because the prophet of the age taught them. I mean, you know, the benedictions were performing them. Not that they're being answered by the prophet or anything like that, you know. But I'm trying to think of a way of saying that this doesn't have associations that might not be there. But 62, the 16th Vargard, Spenta Inu. See chapter 17, 1n. It is here written Spend Mato in Pahlavi. 2. That the deeds of complete mindfulness practiced. See Pahlavi 46 2c. 4. Nourishes the creatures with propriety. Pahlavi 46 2d. 5. That pasture is given. Pahlavi 36 3c. 7. Regarding one acquitted or convicted. See Pahlavi 46 6b. 8. An immense and strong foundation. Pahlavi 36 6c. Chapter 63 1. The 17th Vargard Yezi. See chapter 18 1. Benedictions of the religion. See Pahlavi 47 1d. The Chinvad passage mentioned in 2. See Pahlavi 47 2b. 1 and 1d. Verse 3 occurs from evil to good. Pahlavi 47, verse 4a. 4. That by him who shall produce generosity for the tillers. Pahlavi 47, 5d. 5. A development. Pahlavi 47, 6c. 6. Occasioned by him whose rule. Pahlavi 47, 8a. 7. That the devastation by Vohuman. Pahlavi 47, 9c. 8. That virtuous people are increased in a province. Pahlavi 47, 12a, and compare chapter 61, 4. 9. And explained by him who loves Vohuman. Pahlavi 47, 12b. 10. And this too, that virtuous deeds are set going by him who teaches learned sayings and virtuous deeds to him who is good. Pahlavi 47, verse 12. And so we think of the Tower card a couple notes back, right? Is that there's a destruction and a plan and the rebuilding, all sort of implied there. So you break down the current conditions to make way for the next conditions. We sort of see this in the Death card in another way and all that. I'm not saying that the tarot is Zoroastrian. I'm saying that there's lessons behind it rather than just, I can shuffle the cards and tell your future. It doesn't work that way. But 44, verse 1, the 18th Vargard, Adma Yava. See chapter 19, 1. It is here written Adma Yuv in Pahlavi. Through his complete mindfulness, see Pahlavi 48, 5c, and they become properly intelligent. See Pahlavi 48, 5c. 2. Arises one completely mindful. Pahlavi 48, 5c. 3. Discrimination of the affairs of the sacred beings through wisdom. Pahlavi 48, 6b. The sacred beings through wisdom. Pahlavi 48, 8a. Performance of duty and good works. See chapter 19, verse 1, book 8, chapter 38, 68. who has thoroughly expounded Kurdad and Murdad de Frasho Star. See Pahlavi Yasna 48, 8b. 5. Him to become ardent in duty and good works. Pahlavi Yasna 38, 8d. 6. That Harmaz supplies guardianship. Pahlavi Yasna 48, 10a and b. And chapter 63, verse 6. Verse 7, that they ever amount to a master of all commands. Pahlavi Yasna 48, 11d. Having guarded the creature-forming Dami of Harmaz, mentioned verse 8. Pahlavi Yasna 48, 12a. 9. Arrival in the fiend's abode. Pahlavi Yasna 48, 12d. Reverence comes through invocation to the assistants, mentioned verse 10. Pahlavi Yasna 48, 7c. That which is coveted, East Toe from Harmaz. See Pahlavi Yasna 48, 12d. When asked by him about his own, his confederate, Pahlavi Yasna 48, 7c. Provided by thee as benediction. Pahlavi Yasna 48, 7d. And chapter 65, 1. The 19th Vargard Kad Mo'e Urva. See chapter 20, 1's note. It is here written Kad, Mok, Ravo, and Pahlavi. Is that the sheep nature, Pahi? See Pahlavi Yasna 49, 1b. The distinction made in the Pahlavi text here and in verse 3 by using the scriptural term Pa and the general word gospen for the sheep might perhaps be imitated in English by using the word flock for Pa, but this would not express the meaning exactly. 2. Mankind are nourished. Sraginido. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 1b. 4. Produces joyfulness. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 5b. 5. The joyfulness. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 6c. 6. This too, that the wisdom. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 6d. 7. This too, that the tongue. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 7b. 8. And this too, that preparation. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 7d. 10. This too, that obeisance. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 10c. 11. This too, that assistance is taken. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 11c. 2. This too, that its being within the day till dawn. Val Aush is taught. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 10c. Make it as a signal. Dakshako. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 10c. And, okay, there's one more note. Where is it? Okay, 13. This too, that complete mindfulness is taught among the existences. Pahlavi Yasna 49, 11c. And I strongly suspect that in the original, the number of syllables or other such things might correlate, might, you know, be more in line with each other. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's longer in English doesn't mean it's any longer in the other. So this too, and sort of a building up of things, and we get into 66, 1. In the 20th Vargard, Bahu Kshatram, see chapter 21, 1. It is here written, Vohu Kshatar and Pahlavi. 2. Unto him who is good, see Pahlavi Yasna 50, 1a. 3. That by him who shall provide complete mindfulness, Pahlavi Yasna 50, 2b, it's 51a before that, and Vohu Kshatar and Pahlavi. Verse 3, who shall provide complete mindfulness. Okay, sorry. 4, expedient for sovereignty to give away. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 2b. Where's the other? 5, that which is produced by the words of Vohuman. Pahlavi Yasna 53b. 8, that the way of righteousness. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 13c. 9, that it's being unnecessary to provide repletion for those who are cattle. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 14b. 10, this too, that housewifery. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 17c. 11, that to love the religion through knowledge. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 18b. 12, and this too, that the gratification of Uharmaz. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 20c. 67. 1, in the 21st Vargard, Vahistoiste, it is proclaimed by the righteous Zarathustra. So we see chapter 22's note for the first verse, and in verse 6, that by him who loves the beneficial way, see Pahlavi Yasna 52, 2d. I think we're on to 68 already. 68. Okay, the daughter of the fatherhood, did I say that for verse 7? Okay, Yasna 52, 4a, and verse 9 is in chapter 45, verse 4. There appears to be no confinement to the meaning of matrimony. Okay, as I said before, sometimes it seems too disturbing, and then it turns out it's not really part of the religion claim, right? 1 of 58, the beginning of the 22nd Vargard, the Iryaman, see chapter 23, 1n. It is here written Iramano and Pahlavi, declared by the passage Ya Erez Egyoe Dahi Driga Ove Dahyo, see Yasna 53, verse 9d. And what's the title? Who gives delights va yagano, to him who is a right living poor man. See Pahlavi Yasna 52, 9d, and chapters 45, verse 10, 47, verse 17, 69, 1, about a selection from the whole Yast. The 21st Nask are original yasna. See Book 8, Chapter 46, 1. It is not very clear from this chapter, and from what is stated about it in chapters 1 and 2, whether this selection was compiled by the author of the Dinkard or by some earlier writer, so far as its statements have yet been traced. Nearly all of them originate in the Gathas or in the Yasna Haptanghaete, but verse 45 quotes a passage from the Bako Nask, Yas 19. 2. Occasion benefit. Navaki for him who would occasion that benefit, which is for others. See Pahlavi Yasna 42, 1a. 3. Upon it through Bahuman. Compare the Pahlavi Yasna 28, 2a, where J2, PT4, MF4 have bara, Yaham Tunane, Pavan Mohuman, and the benefit of him who is an open annoyer. Compare Pahlavi Yasna 42, 8b. 4. This reason every righteous individual is Gothic. See Book 8, Chapter 1, verse 5. Also, he who is privileged is unprivileged. See Chapter 61, verse 11. Verse 10. Regarding him who is a wise smiter, so shans. See Book 8, Chapter 14, verse 14. Verse 12, regarding, assuming that law not stands for Ra'i, who has come, the yin of splendor. Avestin Yemo Kasha Eto. See Book 8, Chapter 13, verse 6 and 7. 13, as to that disclosure, Hakisno, Bohuman. See Book 8, Chapter 9, verse 3. 14, as to that utterance, Spendermod. See Chapter 43, 1. It is here written Chatrover. And verse 18, such is the upward attraction, Lala Hang Esni of Chatrover, followers of Harman. (21) As to those of that other one, assuming that Manisno, dwelling, stands for Minisno. When wicked, they consider it as unattested for him who is wicked himself, and the thoughts of him. See Book 8, Chapter 9, verse 3. Are due to Akko Mano. See Chapter 19, verse 1. 22. When both Kurdad and Amurdad. See Yasna 46, 2, C to E. Its Pahlavi version, Yasna 45, 2, C to E, may be translated as follows. I complain to thee, behold it. And this one, O A'u Harmaz, that is, seek a remedy for me, that pleasure is my desire, which a friend gives to his friend through the instruction of a human, when I am instructed in virtue, is the coveted thing of righteousness. Thou shouldest give me. The words in parentheses have no equivalence in the Avesta text. Verse 25 is like this. The text, gerazoe, something missing. Akso, something missing. Yasna 46:7, it's Pahlavi version. Pahlavi Yasna 45:7, A to E, may be translated as follows. Who is given me, and mine my disciples, as protector by thee, O Ahurmazd, when that wicked Aharman retains malice for me in possession, that is, maintains malice with me, who shall provide me protection, other than thy fire and Bohuman, because I know that they would provide me protection for your sake, when I nourish righteousness, and through deeds for them, O Ahurmazd, that is, should I perform duty and good works, who shall provide me protection. Thou shouldest proclaim to me that the high priest of the religion, this thou shouldest state, thus maintain the religion as high priest, and I, for the, in parentheses. 26 is given in the reply of Kemna, see Pahlavi Yasna 45, verse 13e, in Book 8, chapters 11:1 and 13:15. That righteous friend of mine, see verse 10 of Yasna 45. Oh, they're, okay. Before the companionship of King Ka'i, this Tasp, compare 14a, which is given in PT4, MF4, as follows. Zaratusto Moonlak Aharubo Dosto, for the Yasna 45:13e in Book 8, 11:1, 13:15, and 29, that he who is the smiter and developer, Soshans, compare Pahlavi Yasna 29, verse 1 and 9. (32) has openly and publicly wailed this complaint. See Pahlavi Yasna 29, 6b. Priestly authority, radoi, by any righteousness, whatever. Pahlavi Yasna 29, 32. 36. To whom it is requisite to ask this question, frashno. Pahlavi Yasna 29, 34. 37. Some arise when it is requisite to speak this reply, that to the irresolute ruler. It's always important to kind of know what the test is going to be beforehand, because you don't always have the open book. (38) And some arise when that individual is loved by accumulating more good works than are necessary to balance one's own sin. 41. Acquirement for those in life and those in a lifeless state. Well, that's sort of a parallel to vampirism, but not, not a predatory sense, right? Pahlavi Yasna 19:58-20, verse 10, and as we said with the last time, accumulating more works than is necessary to balance one's own sins, and that refers us to page 333, which is an interesting correlation to the symbolism that I've brought up before. Verse 45, even he who is an irresolute ruler, see Pahlavi Yasna 28, verse 4a, unto the supreme heaven, Pahlavi Yasna 28, verse 6c, affliction of the annoyers arises, Pahlavi Yasna 29, 1a, and chapter 15, verse 3. 46, And when everyone knows that ghosts at Urvan complained. Pahlavi 29, 2a. Whose is the guardianship of cattle? Pahlavi 29, 3a, and Book 8, Chapter 37, verse 14. They shall inflict his punishment. See Pahlavi 30, 1c. In their light is joyfulness for the sight. Pahlavi 29, 6a. 47 is comprehensively stated. Pahlavi 29, 7a. In the liturgy. Pahlavi 31, 7c. In spirituality, Pahlavi 31, 8a. That Vahuman is the offspring of Ahurmazd, not in the physical sense, creation, but, Pahlavi 31, 9a. That Spendermod is Ahurmazd's own. See Pahlavi 31, 10a. Who has wandered forth. Pahlavi 31, 11b and c. Given by the thought and wisdom. Pahlavi 31, 21c. Verse 48 of the Spirit, which is his own. Pahlavi 31, 22c. And when everyone becomes a person supporting Ahurmazd. Compare Pahlavi 33, verse 4a, 43, 11c. In whose body a demon is lodging who is not listening. Yeah, people who will space out and not listen to people, that can result in them missing what they should be getting a hold of. Pahlavi 34, 1a. Make his own soul immortal. Pahlavi 34, 3a. Through possession of Ahurmazd. See Pahlavi 33, 6a, and Book 8 of the Dinkard, Chapter 7, verse 5. 50. When everyone becomes a zote, unsullied in righteousness. Pahlavi 33, verse 8c. Well, that's the thing. We just don't have the rituals. We have the lifestyle that backs up the rituals. When everyone gives a sacred cake to the archangels, transforming it into spiritual substance, right? Pahlavi 33, 9c. And when they are together in soul, relating to what I mentioned earlier, right? Pahlavi 33, 10c. 51. When every individual gives his body. Pahlavi 34, 6c. When everyone proceeds to their ceremonial and glorification. What's actual, your religious prescriptions. Yasna 34, 7c, the Pahlavi version of which may be translated as follows. I am aware of no one above other than you. That is, I know no one from whom my benefit is such as from you. And when they shall cause righteousness, that is, they shall perform duty and good works, it thus produces shelter for us. The manuscript has na ekid or na etchid. Oh, what is meant by na ekim tem anyam? See Pahlavi 34, 15c. Among the existences, see Pahlavi 35, 22. 52. Everyone considers the religion as governor and serf. You know, you got to start with that slave-master sort of relationship, and then you kind of make your way to others, but you can't just jump. You got to do good with that stuff, too. When everyone thinks Auharmazd auspicious, Pahlavi 42, 8d, through resolute sovereignty, assuming that Yehevuned stands for Yehabuned. 53, when everyone gives, see Pahlavi 43, 6c. And complete mindfulness arises, see Pahlavi 43, 7d. Much assistance from Auharmazd, Pahlavi 44, 3a. When everyone speaks to restore his temper, Pahlavi 44, 6a. When everyone speaks to provide the ceremonial, Pahlavi 44, 7a. You know, because it's very important that we, you know, do our own good deeds. We can join in congregation, but we need to be able to do our deeds on our own. When everyone produces that advantage by liberal giving, stinginess creates problems to society, I think. 44, 8e. 54, a condition for the supreme heaven, Amat Den Garod Maniki, Pahlavi 44, 9c. When everyone knows that it is done by those in the realm of Auharmazd, Pahlavi 45, 6e. The religion of the first creation, Yast 46, verse 6, C to E. Its Pahlavi version, Pahlavi 45, 6, C to E, may be translated as follows. For he is wicked, whose best nature is for the wicked, and he is righteous, whose homage, Franamisno in PT4 and MF4, is for the righteous in any doubtfulness. Whoever gives anything to the wicked is to be considered as wicked, and whoever gives to the righteous is to be considered as righteous, so long as the religion of the first creation, O Auharmazd, until the time when Soshans arrives, one is ever to be considered in this way. This characteristic is to be considered thus, Havo zi Dregva'u, and so on. See Pahlavi 45, 8a. The manuscript has the righteous by mistake. 55, keeps no wealth for a high priest of the apostates. Pahlavi 45, 12a. There is righteousness. Pahlavi 48, 6a. When they shall make intercession. Pahlavi 45, 17e. For every individual, and when every individual becomes aware. See Pahlavi 46, 2d. When on the outer, people are no longer of, the issues, then you can pray, not just for their guidance, but on their behalf in that way, right? When every individual sees that he's a father of righteousness. Pahlavi 46, 3a. It was 2d before that. Know that the perpetuous spirit is in him. Pahlavi 46, 4d. 56. He is more a smiter of the wicked. See Pahlavi 47, 1d. When every individual utters the salutation, Niya Yisno of Auharmazd. Pahlavi 47, 6a. Knows that is our comfort. Pahlavi 47, 7d. Sometimes you have to get practiced with religion before you feel the comfort in the deeds, right? If you drag your feet and go, you know, and don't go through the motions, right, and all this, you know, you think you're going to experience it, or just going to experience it your first time? And that it is Uharmad's own creature. Pahlavi asked in 47, 12c, 70 for that. When every individual is taught, see Pahlavi Yasna 48, 9c, and every individual joins in the perfect religion. See Pahlavi Yasna 48, 10a and b. 57, knows that Bohuman guards the creatures. See Pahlavi Yasna 49, 9c. When every individual becomes privileged by will. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 1b, the manuscript has boon instead of bara by mistake. It's important to go, you know, beyond just what situations you fall into life. You know, what you are by choice is a greater thing. That gain is through giving away. Pahlavi Yasna 50, verse 3c. The affairs of the archangels. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 8a, speaks to him. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 8b. It becomes a possession for the benefit of the righteous. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 15a. And there is a collective effort on either side. Righteousness or wickedness, it adds up to being an overall benefit for the movement. "58. It is necessary to give sooner to Magian men." Do they mean the tribe, or do they mean the, the type of individual? Pahlavi Yasna 50, 16a in Book 8, Chapter 11, verse 1. He was suitable for the sovereignty. Pahlavi Yasna 50, verse 17a in Book 8 of the Dinkard, Chapter 38, verse 68. That Zarathustra was given a wife by Frashostar. Pahlavi Yasna 50, verse 18a. That it was the learned Gamasp. Pahlavi Yasna 50, 20c. That Uharmaz gave, and that every individual should... Pahlavi Yasna 20c, right. And every individual should provide the ceremonial of Uharmaz. See Pahlavi Yasna 52, 1a. Yeah, you got to be a nation of priests and priestesses. You can't just, oh, we have a priestly class. We don't have to have religion ourselves. It's like, no, it's for everyone. 59. His is a wise reward for those which are yours. Pahlavi Yasna 52, 7a. That. And I suppose there's other things I could say, but